How's everybody doing today? You're watching Slot Car Mayhem. I'm John, and this will be episode 5 of the Quick Tips. And this is going to be geared more towards the those who are newer into the world of Carrera, let's say. And we'll keep this episode short and sweet so everybody can get on with the business of kicking 2020's butt out the door in style, I guess is the best way to put it. Yes, it's New Year's Eve 2020. And I want to get this video done as a last bump for 2020. And hopefully we can send this year out and get it out the door and we can welcome 2021 in style. So if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Hit that notification. We got a lot of good content coming up. And we'll just go ahead and we'll proceed. And we'll keep this short and simple. Again, this is mainly geared towards the newer Carrera viewers. A lot of you already know this stuff, but there's quite a few people out there who may haven't learned or figured this stuff out yet, and that's why we're doing this here. Okay, first thing, we're going to talk about 3 things in specific here today. Number 1 is there's going to be times when you have to electrically isolate a section of track. When would you need to do that? Well, number 1, if you're going to be installing the anti-collision system chips for Carrera, they go into the track sections and they generally require you to electrically isolate a section of track directly ahead of the lane changer. And I'm going to show you how easy it is to actually do that. I've seen where people have taken a Dremel and they've cut slots right here. And basically once you do it, you've permanently modified this section of track at that point. I'm going to show you a way that's reversible and it works just as well and it's very easy. So if we figure out where we want to electrically isolate it, in this case, let's say we want to ensure that this entire piece is electrically isolated, we would remove all of them. But what we're going to do is we're going to remove these little tongs or nubs right here that are on the track section. And by removing those, you're not providing any connection between the sections of track, and then we can just put a piece of electrical tape on the edge to electrically isolate these rails. And doing that is very simple. I'm going to try to see if I can get a shot of this, see if you can even see it. But what I'm going to do, we look at one of our nubs right here. There's 4 little tabs right here at the end of each track where these nubs are. And all we have to do is we just take a small screwdriver like I have here, and we will just go in and we will just bend these nubs right up. Just like that. And you're going to want to bend them up and in. The reason why we want to bend them in is they got to fit through the hole. So I'm going to go ahead and work on these and get these bent over. Okay. Okay, I don't know how well you can see this, but right here I have all the nubs bent completely over and inside the little prong. Then it's just a simple matter of taking a pair of pliers, or in my case I'm going to use a set of diagonal cutters, and then you can just pull the piece right out. And that's it. It's that simple to be able to remove the prongs out of the edge of the track. They're just crimped on. And then these can go into your box, your spare box, and you can save those and you can reinstall them anytime. Now at that point, it would be very simple to just add a piece of electrical tape on the back side here. You don't want to cover the slot, of course. And there you go. Now the end of the rail is completely electrically isolated. You can see that right there. Okay, tip number 2. Sometimes we have issues where the track keeps wanting to come apart, and for those of you that are set up just free on a table or on the floor, you may notice there's quite a few times you got to go back and you got to put the track together again. and it seems to want to keep working itself out even if you have these clips installed. Well, if we look at these clips, we look at them sideways like this, you can see that's relatively flat right there. There's not a whole lot of give or a whole lot of oomph. So what we're going to do is, if you have these issues, get you a small screwdriver, and we're going to go in and do this very carefully, because you can cut yourself if you're not careful, but you're just very carefully going to pry these up. And if you pry these up, they're going to stay up. And give a nice little bend. Now you can see it's higher than it was, and we're going to bend it even a little bit more. Just curl it back, it's not going to break. Hold it for a minute, and you can see now it's stuck up real nice compared to the other one. Then when it comes time to install it in the track, what you're going to find is it's going to hold much tighter, and this will help prevent your track from coming apart. This will help hold it a lot better. So don't be afraid to bend up the tangs on your clips. Makes a big difference in keeping your track and help holding that together. Okay, number three. Okay, number three, we're going to talk about a car. Well, not just any car, specifically ghost cars. Now, ghost cars can be a lot of fun, right? We like running with ghost cars, especially when we're having to run by ourselves, or, you know, with maybe one or two people. We want to throw a ghost car on there, that's fine. But can we throw in more than one? Well, the answer is very simple, yes. So let's say I'm running by myself and I want to run, pick a number, 3 ghost cars. I got a problem. If I decide to go ahead and count laps on the ghost cars, it's going to count laps on all the ghost cars. So every time a ghost car crosses the start-finish line, it's going to count a lap, and I'm never going to be able to play catch-up, because there's one of me and there's 3 ghost cars all counting laps as the same driver. So that doesn't work out very well if you're going that route. If you want to make sure that you win a race, or you want to drive the X number of laps and not have 3 ghost cars cumulatively sum up these laps and shorten your races considerably. So that's one thing we got to overcome. Another thing is, if you don't have the anti-collision chips installed in your track, having multiple ghost cars can really lead to some, let's just say, interesting adventures. The ghost cars are relatively dumb, of course. They don't know when they should and shouldn't change lanes. They just change lanes when they feel like it. And as a result, you end up with some pretty spectacular collisions if you're running multiple ghost cars on your track at the same time. So wouldn't it be nice if there was a way that we could run, let's say I want to run 3 ghost cars and myself running solo, for a total of 4 on the track at any one time, but I only want to count the laps on 1 ghost car. And let's just make it easier. Let's say I don't want the other 2 ghost cars to change lanes either. How do we do that? Very simple. Right here, just put a piece of black electrical tape over the top of your sensor. That's all you have to do. Set it up as a ghost car. Once it's set up at the speed you want, put a piece of black electrical tape over the sensor and set it in one lane. I'll do the same thing with another ghost car, set it in the other lane. I'll set my ghost car that is set up normally without the tape in front, and of course I will be in the back, and I will really stagger out by 6 or 7 feet, the spacing between all the cars at start, and that usually eliminates 99% of all collisions at the lane changers, because the ghost cars are changing when they shouldn't, and prevents everything from bunching up into one lane. And it just makes things a lot nicer. And even though you have these 2 additional ghost cars that are running in circles, they're not changing lanes and they're now counting laps, they do contribute an awful lot to traffic that you have to work around. And so all my ghost cars are generally set up about the same relative speed to one another, but they're considerably slower than my driving speed. My game is not to try to run a race with a ghost car, but to use ghost cars to provide traffic that you have to work around. And I use them more like in the old TRC days, I think they called it a jam car. And by having multiple on one track at once, it really changes the dynamic if you're running by yourself, that you have to work around all these other cars and get around them at whatever point you can. And consider that one of those is going to change lanes when it needs to. You got to be mindful of that as well. So tape over your sensors on 2 of your ghost cars and set them into each lane. Leave your third one set up as a regular ghost car, not taped or anything. And you can have 3 ghost cars. One will only count laps, one will only change lanes, the other 2 are just running. It's a great way and it really helps out a lot. So if you have the cars, go ahead and give that a shot. Works really well. Okay, I'm going to wrap this episode up. Told you it was going to be short. And once again, this was episode 5 of the Quick Tips. And I'd like to welcome all those who are new to the world of Carrera. And if you have any questions or comments, just hit me up. I'll be happy to answer anything I can. Anything else, I'll try to see if I can at least find an answer out for you or do something. We all work together on this and we'll all get through all of it together. I want to make sure everybody has a good, safe, and an enjoyable New Year's Eve. And let's hope that 2020 treats us better than 2021 treats us better than 2020 did. Personally, myself, I'll be glad to see 2020 go out the door. So let's just hope for the best, and everybody keep your spirits up, keep the guide flags in the slot, and again, thanks everybody for watching. It's been a great year for the channel. It's been a good year for me personally. I've made a lot of new friends on this channel, and I look forward to providing more service and more content and everything for 2021. So I want everybody to enjoy your night, enjoy the end of the year, and we'll see you in 2021. Thanks for watching. Have a great night.